If you love movies and have the funds for premium ticket prices, 4DX is more than just a new way of seeing movies. It's a visceral level of interaction that transforms movies into theme park rides. From the moment you walk into the theater, you immediately know you're about to see something different. Inside, you'll discover a new level of cinematic immersion, and yet many are still unaware this technology even exists, which then begs the question, what is 4DX? In this video, I'll show you the various features of 4DX, how it enhances movies, deepens immersion, some pros and cons, what to consider before you buy a ticket, and where the future of this technology is heading. Hello everyone, I'm your host David, and welcome to Timeless Cinema Show. Now 4DX is arguably the largest leap in theater technology, presenting audiences with a rich and visually stunning environment. Through this slick presentation, 4DX redefines expectations, bringing you one step closer to living inside a movie. To do this, 4DX utilizes a multitude of features which are individually programmed in sync to a film's on-screen events. When a character gets splashed, you get wet. When a rainstorm hits, wind and water come across your body. To deliver these experiences, 4DX currently utilizes the following features, which include snow, strobe aka lightning, fog, water, pitch, sway and twist, heave, roll, seat vibration, feet ticklers, warm air, faced air, which blasts your face, the warm air behind you, rainstorm, which is a mixture of the next two features, wind and rain, bubbles, and then you have scents or smells, which is a pleasant aroma. When these features are combined, they foster a deep level of immersion that pulls you into the action, music, and even horror, elevating the experience into something that is somewhat indescribable. It can take an older, familiar movie such as Nightmare Before Christmas and make it feel fresh and new. Here is what the latest 4DX demo trailer looks like inside of the theater, which is a simulated experience.
The most immersive cinema-going experience.
Now, please note that this video does not come close to conveying the many features involved. Personally, I've seen over 30 movies in 4DX, some of them in 3D. I am still fascinated by the technology. And like all technologies, it does carry some flaws, but before we go into some notable concerns, let's dive into the positives. For starters, a lackluster movie can become an incredible joyride. In some cases, it can completely transform the experience into something exceedingly beyond even the IMAX release. Moonfall is a great example of this. When those last 40 minutes of action hit, you feel the entire ride through the very end. Another aspect I always enjoy is how visiting the theater is now one step closer to entering a theme park. But unlike theme parks, there's a new ride available almost every week. As new movies are released, a new experience is to be had, and each visit finds a way to feel refreshingly new. This technology also has this amazing ability to enhance action, comedy, music, and even horror. For example, during Indiana Jones' Dial of Destiny, the cart ride down the stairs was an absolute crowd pleaser. During Nightmare Before Christmas, your seat vibrates and bounces to the beat, adding a nice touch you cannot find elsewhere. And in the case of Saw 10 or Saw X, the violent shaking and water sprays during moments of gore felt so real that some folks in the audience had to exit the theater for a moment to take a break from the action. When done right, great movies are transformed into something deeper and better, especially during on-screen events that involve characters in a chair just like you. Top Gun Maverick is by far the best example of this. But not everything is great for everyone, and there are some notable concerns that are really negatives on the 4DX experience. For starters, if you have back problems, 4DX can be painful. If you have health issues, it's better off to simply go with the standard format. Which brings me to my next point. The seats are somewhat uncomfortable. 4DX seats are stiff by design. They're built to endure this motion, moisture, and constant friction as you shake in your seat. If you enjoy luxurious, comfortable seating or have issues sitting for a long time, you'll want to keep this detail in mind. Additionally, a movie with poor 4DX implementation can diminish the experience, which means every movie isn't worth the premium price of a ticket. While most action-oriented movies are generally safe, movies like Scream 5, Scream 6, and Nope were overall worse off in the format. I've only seen one good horror movie and one great musical in 4DX. The remainder have left much to desire, and I much prefer the standard presentations over the 4DX counterparts. One major commonality worth discussing is how 4DX movie showtimes are limited to new releases. On rare occasion, you may find an older movie like Poltergeist, Gremlins, or even Harry Potter, but these are few and far between. 4DX films also have a slim window of release, typically 1 to 2 weeks, making it hard to rely on word of mouth recommendations. Oftentimes, I've heard about a movie that sounds interesting, only to discover it's no longer available in 4DX. Now, if you're going on dates at the movies, you may want to reconsider as well, as it's not the best option for intimacy or even holding hands. You can't lift the armrest. You may suddenly find yourself dropping popcorn when you're passing the bucket to your date. I've seen this quite a few times, and I'm pretty sure buttery popcorn across your date's lap is not flattering. Well, unless you're watching Rocky Horror Picture Show. Which brings me to the high ticket price. 4DX is a premium, with costs at roughly double the price of a standard ticket. If you have something like Regal Unlimited, you can reduce the price a bit, or even use Regal Rewards to reduce the ticket price from standard, but be prepared to open your wallet. Then there's the issue of geography. 4DX theaters are limited to select major cities with a limited number of available theaters in those cities. For example, if you live in San Diego, there's only one 4DX theater located within 15 minutes. If you live in Dallas, the nearest theater is hours away. Granted, you do have a similar option in D-Box, which may be in your area. Speaking of 4DX theaters, not every theater carries the same slick presentation you see in this video. It's not a deal breaker for me, but your outing may be less impressive, which is something to keep in mind. And finally, just like a roller coaster, people tend to talk quite a bit during and after big action sequences. Having seen many 4DX films, I always make an effort to be reasonable about this wow factor chatter, but if you're worried about this, early showtimes tend to bring the best audiences. Friday night showtimes tend to be the most talkative, and of course, Sunday through Wednesday generally been positive throughout the day for me. Now, if you're good with these pros and cons, here's some advice on how to prepare for a 4DX movie. First off, expect the theater to be cold, with water and fans that'll make the environment even colder. Bring something like a hoodie to keep you warm when things get cold. If it's not too hot outside, you may want to wear pants. My wife often gets cold, and giving her my jacket is something I'm always prepared for. Similarly, wear comfortable clothing that you don't mind getting scuffed or wet in. 4DX seats have minimal cushion, and comfortable clothes help offset this. Avoid wearing silky or fragile clothing since it's likely to get damaged as you're shaking in your seat. When it comes to your posture, keep your feet firmly on the footrest, your arms on the armrest, your butt at the back of the seat with your back against the backrest. You'll be more comfortable when sudden moments of action hit, and your body will thank me later. For those that also enjoy fizzy drinks, I recommend sitting at the end of your seat cluster. Most of the time, the seats are in 4 groups. If you sit at the end, this will allow you to put your drink down on the floor beside you. Those cup holders give you no guarantee that your drink will still have bubbles by the time you're midway through the movie. On the snack side of things, keep a tight grip on your popcorn and snacks, or be prepared for it to end up on the ground. When you pay good money for a premium experience, you just want to be prepared to maximize the experience altogether, because when 4DX delivers the goods, it is beyond impressive. Now that you've seen what things currently look like, what does the future of 4DX hold? Crazy enough, CJ4Dplex has officially rebranded their concept of 4DX and ScreenX into Ultra 4DX. Announced officially via YouTube on March 11, 2024, they're finally combining both of these technologies into one premium format. If you don't know about ScreenX, I highly recommend you check out my ScreenX in-depth review. But it's safe to say this combo will revolutionize theaters even further. And if that doesn't sound cool enough to you, CJ4Dplex has been testing a concept that would add another screen onto the ceiling This means you'll have a fourth screen to add to that 3-screen ScreenX presentation, meaning you could eventually find yourself wrapped around with screens in almost every direction and an interactive experience to boot. Nothing major has been announced publicly at this time, but I'd love to see filmmakers take advantage of these technologies, especially since it doesn't require a VR headset to enjoy it. With all that said, are you interested in 4DX? If you can't afford it and are healthy enough for it, I cannot recommend it enough. If you don't have any 4DX theaters nearby, I do recommend checking out D-Box. It is a great alternative, but it doesn't offer all the features beyond what the chair can do. But it does allow you to have the ability to turn down the seat motion levels. And in my opinion, the seats are generally more comfortable than what the 4DX seats are. If I have your attention still and you've enjoyed this video, please consider giving me a like and subscribe. I don't pump out much content, but I always emphasize quality over quantity. On that note, thank you for the time, cinema fans. Wishing you nothing less than the best. Until next time.